Okay, hello and welcome back to part 2, or welcome to part 2, welcome back to this series. In this video we're going to be finishing off this command executor, and then we'll be just sort of testing it out a bit, I guess, and then leading on to the next video, which is going to be on custom events, which is kind of fun. Okay, so first thing is we're going to we're going to check to make sure that the player has actually specified a second argument, because they may just enter the command like that, without a player name, like that, which would be bad. So what we're going to do is just do a simple if args length is not equal to 1, because we only ever want one argument. I'm going to send them a message, so we can just do sender, send message, and we'll just send it in red. So chat color red plus the message, which is I don't know, usage kick player name, so that they know they have to specify a player name. And then to prevent the rest of this code executing, we're just going to return true. No, we're not. We're going to return false. No, we're going to return true. And this one down here should also be returned true. Okay, so that's that done. And now we've established that they have entered the command correctly. What we can do is check to see if the player that they entered is actually on the server. And the way we can do that is by attempting to actually get the player. So we're going to create a new player object, and it's going to be called kick, and this is going to be equal to plugin get server get player by the argument, which is the player's name. So we'll do args 0 for the one they entered, the first argument, and that'll need to be imported. So let's just do that, and then what we can do is check if kick is equal to null, because if it is, that means that the player either for some reason wasn't available by the get player method, which would never really happen, it'd be a bit weird, or that they are not actually online, because it makes sense, you know, you can't kick people that are already off the server, because that's just weird. So what we can do is a simple check, so we can do if kick is equal to null, like so. And then what we can do is just send them a message saying sender, send message. And again, we'll make this red because it's an error. Red, and we'll just say, I don't know, the player name, so arg0, and then we need a space, is not online. That'll do. And then again, we just need to return true to stop that happening. So now here, we've established that the player being kicked in the kick variable is actually a player that's on the server. So what we can do is just say kick player, and then this parameter here is the message that they want to see on the screen when they get kicked. So what we can do is just either put something in manually here, which we're going to do, or we could also have it come from the argument, which we'll do in a moment. So we can do you have been kicked from this server. Spelled wrong, significantly wrong. That'll do. And then here we don't want to say player name, we want to say the actual player name, so we'll just do arg0 plus. Okay, like that. And that is that basically done. And also it's probably worth showing a confirmation message to the person that sent the command. So as well as logging it to the server log, what we can do is just send them a message. So we can do sender, send message, and we'll make this green this time because it worked. Chat color green, not grey, because that's very horrible. And we'll just say the same thing as down here actually, because it'd be easier for the sake of time. Okay, there we go, and that should now work. So what we'll do is give this a quick export, and we'll start the server up. And we'll start the server up, and I'll just fire up the game, so ignore that, and there we go. Okay, I'm going to have to just make this the right size and log in. Sorry, I forgot to start Minecraft. That was fairly daft of me, so don't worry too much about this, and we'll just make it just about the right size. Oh, very awkward. Well, it started anyway, that'll do. Let's just log in, and I'll join the testing server. So let's go to multiplayer, and it's 127.0.0.1, and we'll just click join, and at least we're in the game, so that means the world didn't get corrupted, which is good. And we should now be able to use the kick command. So if I just try kick like so, you see we get that usage message that I manually typed out a moment ago that says usage is kick player name. And if we kick a player name, so if I just do kick nobody, spelt wrong, you can see we get nobody is not online, which is quite a weird sentence, but we won't worry about that too much. What we'll try now is kick me, and you can see that we get this message, you have been kicked from the server. So that is basically how command arguments work. So effectively it's just a pretty simple way for you to pass in data, if you like, to your your code from the game. So the next thing we're going to do is add some more arguments, or we're going to use a few more arguments to allow the person, the admin, whatever, to, instead of just doing kick player, we're going to have them also be able to show a message, so you have been kicked, or something a bit more constructive, not constructive, helpful. So what we'll do is just get off the game, and we'll go back to our code. Actually, we'll stop the server first, because I always forget to do that. So I'll go back to the code, and what we need to do is take the first argument, wherever we're doing that, here, take the first argument as the player name, and then we need to join any other arguments together and add them to this kick message. So that's what we're going to do next. So also, our check here, if the argument is not equal to 1, is no longer valid, because we're actually allowing technically an unlimited number of arguments now. So all we want is it to be greater than 0, so we're going to specify that instead. So we'll just do greater than 0. Right, pretty simple. Okay, so down here, what we're going to do is create a new string, which is going to be equal to which is going to be called the message, and that's going to be equal to well, actually, it's going to be equal to something depending on how many arguments there are, because we want it to default to something, so you don't always have to type it if you want to get rid of someone pretty quickly, and we're going to use the value provided if it's available. So that's that. So what we're going to do is check to see if there is more than one argument now. So we'll do if args length is greater than 1, which means they've specified a reason. We'll work it out. Otherwise, we'll just set message equal to you have been kicked from the server. So I'll just drag that up here and stick one of those after it, and then we can just pass this in directly to our kick message like so. Our kick player function method. Okay, so up here what we need to do is, like I said, we need to join our every other parameter to the message. So actually what we should really do is define this as an empty string up here, so we can just add to it in here. So what we're going to do is loop over all of them starting from 1. So we'll just use a for loop here. So I'll do for I is equal to 1, which is the second element, and while I is less than the length of the element, length of the array, so args length increment I plus I. Okay, and then inside of here what we can do is just do message plus equals, and we'll just join on the individual argument followed by a space, which will actually end up with a space at the end of the message, but that doesn't matter massively. So that will basically do that. So let's give it a test. Let's see, let's export it, and we'll go back to the server and give it a start. Probably worth pointing out, by the way, that these commands are actually available from the console by default. So I can use kick in here, for example, and we get an error, which is not good. Underline blah 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 blah. Oh, okay, that's because what have I done? Okay, line 23. I don't have any line numbers. That's good. So let's just show line numbers, and line 23 is this one. Oh, okay. That should be greater than. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. That was fairly thick of me. We want to continue if there is more than one argument, or if there's more than 0 arguments. So actually here what we want to do is check if it's equal to 0, not the exact opposite. So, oops. give that a stop and a start. And then we'll try that again, and I'll look at it and get into game. That will take it even longer. So yeah, like I was saying, these commands actually can by default be used from in-game. So for example, if I just do kick, a bit hard to see, but you can see that this actually shows the usage information, and it will work if I just do a player name too. So now you can see player's not online and lag message. Anyway, let's join the game, and I'll try kicking myself. So let's just log in. There we go. So actually, I'll do this from the console. So let's do kick wide load first, and you can see that showed this green success message. And also, if we look at my game window, that's the default message. So if I just re-log in, like so, hit T so I can tab out, and go to the console again. Now I'll enter a reason. Well, I typed it wrong, but what you can see is on the game window we see this a reason specified. So that is pretty much that. That's the absolute basics of command arguments. They're pretty useful, to be honest. It's probably one of the most important things to know how to do, because unavoidably pretty much every plugin you write will involve at least one command. For some reason people demand to be able to configure everything in game, but what can you do? Anyway, that is enough from me. Sorry about that little mistake there, but it's all part of the experience, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, yep, that's it. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.